Hello everyone, and welcome to another one of our videos. Please take a deep breath, relax, and enjoy.
What is it like dating a pure 10/10 in attractiveness? It isn't fun. Not only are they super boring most of the time, because generally their personality revolves around their looks, but even the fun time sucks because they think their looks alone make you get off. They also barely commit emotionally. My current girl is not a traditional 10/10 in looks, but neither am I. I'd give myself an 8/10 and same to my current girl. She is however a 10/10 to me though because I love her. She is invested in me emotionally and I'm more attracted to her than I've been to any other woman. Like damn does my heart skip a beat for her. Looks are important but having a personality is more so. If you find a 10/10 with one you found a unicorn. 99% of the time you'll just be late to everything and gaslit into oblivion when you raise concerns about the posting risque social media posts, and when you try to connect emotionally with them, it's like talking to a toddler. I have dated probably 2 people that would be 10/10 in looks for my standards and everyone that saw photos standards. One was really cool and we didn't work out due to careers and moving. The other one was pretty much every stereotype of a 10/10. Extreme high upkeep for little return. I think it's like anything and varies a lot by person. In general it's not hard to find or date a 10/10 because there are tons and tons of beautiful people. And my 10/10 of maybe a 9/10 for you. Because we all have slightly different things. A cute 8/10 is the way to go. Once you hit 9 and up it's just not worth it, generally. At the end of the day all of us are getting old, so find someone that makes you laugh a ton. Because that's what keeps you together. I dated this model chick just because she was hot. It only lasted a month. I couldn't handle talking to her, I felt my IQ declining. Also every guy, including my friends, tried to sleep with her, even when I was dating her. She wasn't arrogant or anything, but she had this entitlement, that everything is granted just for looking good. It's better to date a chick you can vibe with. After her I dated this 6 to 7 in looks and it was so awesome. Even intercourse was 10 times better, because she actually tried. Also I could talk to her and she listened. The model chick just looked in the distance like she wasn't even on. My advice, don't think with your Johnny. What shines isn't always gold. It was disappointing. She acted like her life is a TV show and only wanted a lifestyle to match her perceived value. I felt myself trying to impress her and after then realized she was shallower than I am, so I changed direction. Asking her about what she wanted in the next few years. It had nothing to do with personal growth and all to do with what she would be driving and where she wanted to live. Her beauty wasn't worth the price and I now choose only to date women who are 10s on the inside. I'm thankful for the experience. Physically 10/10. Agonizingly boring. She had a great start when getting to know her. She made it sound like she was creative and funny, but she was a candle that burned brightly, with a short wick. To be fair, she had moments where she would flicker brightly again. And had an immense appetite. You'd be surprised quickly how that can become hollow, especially when you realize she only wants to talk about herself. Whenever I've gone for the 10/10s, I usually haven't clicked as well with them. Partly because I find it harder to be myself around someone I know I'd settle for instantly. And partly because when your sole focus is looks I think you are blindsided by other factors that I think lead to a more satisfactory dynamic. I definitely feel more insecure dating a hyper-attractive woman, and I'd consider myself fairly attractive. Probably other reasons too. I like my 8s. I have dated a couple of really hot girls in my life and the truth is that it was not all that great. One of them knew she was hot and loved the attention. Every time we went to a bar, club or party there was always guys trying to chat her up. I was always thinking about her cheating on me. She wouldn't tell guys she was in a relationship, she would let them flirt with her because she loved the attention. She was hot but also really vain, she would take ages to get ready when we went out. In the end I was kinda relieved when we split up. The other hot girl was a barmaid and guys spent half their time at her bar trying to chat her up. I would tell guys she was my girlfriend and they would apologize but try chatting her up the next day. She was really cool and fun to be with and a lot of guys were jealous of me. It gave me a huge head swell being out with her. Guys would be jealous and other girls would flirt with me. But whenever I went to the bar she worked at there was always guys trying to get into her pants and that drove me nuts. Honestly, it depends. Being 10/10 is great, of course you want to be with a hot person. But it isn't everything at all. I've been with attractive girls who have a crappy attitude, mood all the time, or just lay down for sex without doing much. Honestly, especially in the latter example, I'd rather be with a less attractive person who doesn't have that problem. I have two exes who are model levels of attractive. They were completely different personality-wise, so I won't generalize. One was arrogant, one's had awful self-esteem. They both had every swinging wiener trying to holler at them. They both had orbiting fake friends waiting for a vulnerable moment to shoot their shot. They both were flawed human beings, and not that different from dating more average-looking women in the grand scheme of things. There was a while where I refused to date below them in attractiveness, but I no longer feel that way. I value personalities much more now. I'm actually leery of very attractive women. It's easy to fall for their spell. It was honestly amazing. She was tall, voluptuous, and had a twin sister. It was an incredible experience, but also stressful. She would constantly be on my case about small things, reaching the point of yelling at me sometimes. Other guys would openly flirt with her right in front of me, so I had to be vigilant everywhere we went together. In the end, it kind of messed me up. The way we met is she kind of approached me and I basically didn't mess it up. This led to my already large ego inflating to epic proportions. I thought that I didn't have to work on myself to get women. I was aloof in the relationships I had that followed, neglecting my partners physically and emotionally as I pined for the high I got from being with such an attractive woman. This led to many failed relationships and frustration from me, as I have never been able to get with another woman as attractive as her. I would never take it back though. I learned many valuable lessons from her about people, that no matter how attractive someone is physically, they can be a gem inside. She chose me, demonstrating that I have value despite not being the most conventionally attractive. She bought me things, many things, destroying the stereotype that super attractive women need to be bought. She genuinely loved me, I believe, more so than any other woman I've been with at least, showing me what that felt like, and to not accept anything other than that. Whenever I'm feeling down, I remember her, and that usually is enough to lift me up. I feel incredibly fortunate to have experienced being in a relationship with her. Her twin sister, on the other hand, is a caricature of what men think ten-tenths women are: self-centered, aloof, arrogant, etc. I'm a very fortunate man. I feel bad for guys who never get the unicorn and spend their lives chasing sevens. You can see all the men looking at her on the streets, restaurants, subway, like everywhere. She tells me about all of these men hitting on her, which makes me anxious. On the other hand, you can see how beautiful girls are actually depressed due to the fact that most men only treat them as sexual objects. They are super cautious with their interactions and have serious trust issues. So they are actually not that into physical traits as much as you would expect. I was involved with a couple of them in my younger days. Absolutely gorgeous women, but sooner or later they realized what they looked like and why every guy in the room stared, and half of them came up and hit on them whenever we went out. The diva factor came into play, and that was enough for me to move on. When I was dating one of them, one of my uncles said to me, not in her presence of course, "Just remember, for every beautiful woman out there, there's at least one guy who is sick and tired of her garbage." I have seldom heard more prophetic words. She was so stupid. I can't even describe it to you how stupid she was. But she was a certified knockout. Dudes would give me the nod when we walked past them, more like a holy cow thumbs up. However, I literally couldn't hold a conversation with her, and everything out of her mouth was like talking with a dumb child. Because she was. However, unwrapping that package for the first time was like Christmas morning and you got a new N64 and Zelda and Mario Kart. I'm a girl. I dated a ten-tenths in looks for a few years. He was gorgeous, GQ model hot. Beautiful features, perfect lean athletic body, 6'1", and dressed super well. He even had a nice personality and decent job. He wasn't even too cocky. Just confident. It was annoying to have him constantly receive attention. Because he's never had to work for anything, he was terrible at going the extra mile for me in every department. He wasn't romantic, sex was average, he never tried to make me happy. He just felt like he was God's gift on earth but didn't say it, his actions showed it. He used to make me jealous because he was super social and all the girls would love him. Yet he had a low libido, so it made me feel insecure. All in all, I would much rather date a 6 to 7 with slightly low self-esteem who I can lift up. Someone who works for things because he doesn't rely on his looks. Plus, when you love someone truly, they become a ten-tenths anyways. My most recent ex was an Instagram model and a fashion designer that I would consider a 10/10. Easily the hottest girl I have ever seen. Besides being hot as hell, she was also a very down-to-earth person and one of the most caring and kind person I know. Dating her was like a dream come true, and she would be like a dream wife for most men. I mean, sometimes I would pinch myself and be amazed that I was even dating this beautiful girl with such a beautiful soul. After meeting her, I realized, being hot has no correlation with how good a person is. Honestly, it depends. Being 10/10 is great, of course you want to be with a hot person. But it isn't everything at all. I've been with attractive girls who have a crappy attitude or mood all the time, or just lay down for fun times without doing much. Honestly, especially in the latter example, I'd rather be with a less attractive person who doesn't have that problem. Had one playmate. She was nice but really vanilla and passive in bed. We weren't really compatible there, what made her freak out a bit. And me not having fun while having vanilla sex with her made her very insecure and destroyed her self-esteem. Too bad. She was so pretty, she was looking more like a video game character than an actual human being, and still she was a total normal down-to-earth introverted girl. Really liked that and would have loved to be just with her. Recently had a high fashion model. Everything was just so perfect about her looks. Worst ant times ever. Had no fucking clue what she is doing. Was just used to guys only finishing due to her looks. And she was entitled and weird as hell. Expecting everyone to bow down for her and always trying to be as edgy and quirky as possible. Just someone who isn't used to hear the word no and 100% defines herself by her looks. Another girl from just 2 to 3 months ago was a total dream, 10/10 salt girl. Was dating a famous rock star and one of Germany's biggest YouTube stars before we met. Basically a groupie kind of girl, always getting into the backstage area on concerts and stuff due to her looks. Just pure hotness, but equally crazy and unstable. The fun times was incredible. She was into the rough stuff, but as soon as I signaled I am interested in her for more than fun, she started ignoring me.
Congratulations, you've made it to the end. We want to thank you again for giving us a few minutes of your time, and we wish you have a great rest of your day, night, or whenever you're watching this. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to subscribe. It really does help us a lot. That's it from me. Roll the outro.